In this episode, we are going to talk about 5 tips to making work from home, exactly what we're doing right now, more efficient. We're giving you a few tips on routine, blocking your time, and just a few other flurries to help you out in this time.
This is the Marketing Natives, providing actionable ways to grow, improve, and succeed in your business. And now, your hosts, Christian and Aaron.
Perfect. So I think this is a podcast that not only is good for those who are watching or listening, but also for ourselves, because I've seen a bunch of them. I don't know if you've done this too, but there's been a lot of blogs or a lot of articles out there of just like, hey, tips for working from home. And I've briefly looked at like one of them, or I just saw the headlines, but this actually forced me to go do some research and find out a few things. So I think this will be very helpful for us as well. So I'm just going to.
And I would say this is something that obviously I feel like everyone's still trying to adjust to, and finding their own groove in all this, right? Because everyone's routines and what they've been used to doing has been interrupted, right? So everyone has to kind of find their own way of dealing with this, and hopefully some of these tips will alleviate some of that. And technically, this very first thing that we have is finding your own routine, right? And finding something that obviously that works for you. So, for example, this is something that I'm still trying to figure out. But if you think about like your workout routine, right? Gyms have been closed down, so there's no more gyms. So everyone's having to either work out from home or go running. I feel like there's definitely been an uptick in people who are running outside or maybe just walking outside. But finding your routine, especially you have to stay active, considering the fact that you're going to be stuck at home working. So find a way to get an exercise in there. So it might mean that, for example, for me, I can do push-ups throughout the day instead of having to not necessarily just have a time block in the morning to do my workout. I could do my workout throughout the day because I don't have to be in an office. I sweat pretty easily, so that would not be something viable for me to do at our office, because even if I jump into our bike, we have like an office desk bike type deal. And even if I jump in there for 20 minutes, I start like sweating and it's bad. But at home, I could do that because I don't have to. I can just change. I can take a quick shower if I want to, or just kind of chill out for a little bit and, let the sweat dry. So it's just a completely different routine that, what I'm used to. But it's something that probably works better for me in that sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, so it sounds like from all of this, you're just more so challenging me to a push-up challenge. So,
yeah. And we used to kind of do that at the apartment when we were not at an office.
Right.
But when you change to that office setting, it's just hard to get in push-ups and things like that, because you're, a completely different attire. You're in and out of your office. You're talking to people in your building, things like that. It's just, I don't know, kind of weird.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the stinky kid.
Yeah. And I don't know. So yeah, I think the routine, I think something that we should point out is that it's going to look different. It's going to look a lot different. But we are creatures of habit. So once you figure it out, just continue to do that. Nobody knows how long this is going to go on. And, making a habit for yourself at least gets you looking forward to it. Like, especially if you're like, oh, midday, I get to go do this. I go out on my afternoon walk right after these calls or right after this meeting. You start to look forward to it. And it's like good feelings that you have versus like uncertainty and anxiety and anxiousness and everything like that. So I think it helps with mindset too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of the routine is also time blocking on your calendar. This is something that we do on a regular basis for our business, but I think it's very important to visually see your day, because at home, I feel like sometimes the day just goes by super quick.
Yes.
And it's just it's just a weird dynamic. But if you time block and you say, okay, from this time to this time, I have this, from this time to this time, I have this, then it just makes everything a lot easier and a lot more structured for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So number 2, speaking of working from home, and well, like the structure of it, eliminate distractions as much as possible. Sometimes that could be a baby. Sometimes that could be a puppy. Sometimes it's, some people, you like in a neighborhood and there may be kids outside, maybe not playing with other kids, but there could be people outside. There could be the fact that you didn't finish laundry over the weekend. It could be like that you didn't wash your dish at lunch. Those are all distractions, even though they just seem like a little bit. It's like, oh, I just have like 3 bowls over here. I saw them earlier. Let me go just wash them and then go back to work. It's like, no, like you got to eliminate that kind of, and we'll talk about something a little bit later too, but I think that those are eliminating the distractions and getting those things out of your way will also help you to kind of have a better routine from like my workspace environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes you just have to sort of put your, what is it, like the horse blinder type
blinders
thing, and just really concentrate and, tell your significant other, or tell your no, you can't tell your puppy not to misbehave. I wish that was true. But just kind of, put your blinders and really concentrate. Okay, I have this hour, 2 hour time block that I really need to get this stuff done. And then I can do the dishes, or then I can do 5 minutes of playing tug of war with my puppy,
mm-hmm.
Just holding my baby for, 5-10 minutes. So, I think those things are, you can definitely incorporate them, but I think like you're saying, it's eliminating the distractions. So if you're time blocking, take that time blocking seriously,
mm-hmm.
And don't let like you looking over your shoulder and looking at the dishes and saying, oh, I need to do that. And then you kind of get frustrated from like the fact that, oh, I should probably go do that. But no, I actually have work. Like I'm at work. It's kind of like you have to separate yourself from your environment.
Yes. Kinda. And it also causes like, so you can't go do the dishes or you can't go pick up the laundry, and then you get back to work and you're like, oh, I didn't make any progress on this. So it's like a double-edged sword. You just feel like, oh, I'm unproductive. And then it's the spiraling out of control. I'm sure that a lot of people have felt that. But I think that one good thing that you should do, which we kind of have right now, I have some makeshift ones, you have some nice ones, is like using something like Brain FM or like something audibly to listen to. Probably not listen to today's top music unless you can do that, but like some kind of concentration music, like whether it's classical, whether it's just instrumental, or like I said, Brain FM, huge shout out to them, helping you focus, because then you can get like logged into your computer. You don't have the outside like noises, and you can kind of really focus in on it. And so it eliminates a lot of distractions just doing something like that.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you can go to brain.fm on your browser,
mm-hmm.
and you'll find out what we're talking about. It's a sort of binaural beats, and they have a ton of different options, and you can listen and try out for free. But it definitely helps you. It definitely helps you get in the zone and just concentrate on what you're doing. Unlike listening to popular music where you just, I can't do it either. Like, there's some tasks, I guess, that you can listen to just your Spotify, but if you really need to concentrate or you're writing something out, there's no way. I have to do something like Brain.fm.
Yeah.
To really concentrate.
I was going to say the big thing for me is like, I could maybe review like skim over, maybe not even skim an email or anything. I think it's just like maybe a number or something like, oh, this is like just brief overview of numbers or something. And then I could have it. But as far as like being able to concentrate and like respond back to an email, I might find myself with like saying like Despacito. I'm like, oh, I don't know why I wrote that. Like wrong word here. So yeah, I think Brain.fm is super helpful, or something like that. What is number 3? Number 3, probably the most important. I have to force myself. I saw this. Do you know Syat Fitness or what's his name? Syat, I don't know. He used to be Gary Vee's personal trainer. He put out something, and it's like very simple. It said like, if you want to concentrate better, if you want to be better working from home, like get 1,000 steps by 10 a.m. at the least. Just get out and go walk and get 1,000 steps by 10 a.m. and you're just going to set yourself up on a much better foot. Mm-hmm. So our number 3 tip is get outside and get fresh air when you can. At least move around, like, try to leave your apartment or try to leave your house if you can. And just don't stay in that same little, those 4 walls, those boxes, because it's daunting because you're staying there all day and then you're like, oh, now I'm here all night too. And then you just do it over and over again. So it's, I don't know. It's hard. So get outside.
Yeah. I mean, I have a structured, even in my calendar, time blocked, a reflection walk. But then on top of that, because I have a puppy, I have to just take her out, every hour or so. And I mean, sometimes when I'm over here at Megan's apartment, like she takes care of that, or we kind of go back and forth on taking her. So it's not like every hour I'm, taking a break to walk. And even if I do, it's maybe 5 minutes, right, that I'm outside with her. And it's just, like you said, getting fresh air, letting her go potty, and then come back in.
Yeah, 5 minutes is plenty of time. I mean, 10 minutes is like stretching it a little bit, I think, like for every hour. But, at least maybe a 10 to 20 minute time once a day is a really good way. And then, once an hour, every 2 hours, 5 to 10 minutes is also good, just to get your blood flowing. I know sometimes we get in the zone and so we're like, okay, I don't want to move. And so I'll sit here for an hour and a half. But then after that, it's like, okay, I need 10 minutes to kind of reset everything and feel like it's not so nice here in Dallas, Texas today. But earlier today it was super nice. And this last couple of days was like really nice, where you just get outside and feel the sun on you, and it's, I don't know, that vitamin D definitely helps.
Yep, for sure.
All right. This is a perfect part of the podcast where we talk a little bit about bit branding. Right now, we're obviously working from home, and business has changed for a lot of people. And I will tell you this, there's still a way that you can help you grow your business. Sometimes that means you have to pivot in your business. Sometimes that means you have to take your business online. Sometimes that means that you have to figure out unique ways to offer solutions to them. So I encourage you guys to do a free strategy session with us. It's a 45-minute free strategy session to talk about how you can use our tips and tactics and strategies to help you figure out a way to generate more leads and business online. So if you are interested in that free strategy session, go to apply.bitbranding.co. Again, that's apply.bitbranding.co, and you'll schedule a time on our calendar, fill out a couple of questions so we know more about your business, and get a free strategy session so that you can help your business pivot in a time like we're going through right now.
Awesome. All right, we're back. Number 4 is get dressed. Don't wear sweats all day. And I mean, I think that's super important too. And I've done both. I've done somewhere one day. I mean, I don't necessarily dress up, but I just, put on a t-shirt and just put on like shorts, like athletic shorts, not like, and it's a completely different feeling from actually like putting on jeans, maybe like a button up, and actually wearing like shoes. It's just, it feels completely different. And actually, like some of those days, I am more inclined to go to the office. Like the days that I dress up, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I don't feel like I belong here.
Right, I have a purpose now.
Yeah. So I would say like definitely the days that I actually dress up, like put on jeans and like shoes and like all that, it definitely has a different feeling in my brain than when I just kind of throw on a t-shirt, shorts, and maybe some house shoes or something. It's just a completely different feeling.
Yeah, I think that sets you up for like, hey, this is a Saturday and I'm ready to just kind of watch Netflix all day. Like that to me, that's what it feels like. And I feel like my brain is more foggy too, because I'm like, or more lethargic. If you don't use our other tips, if you don't go outside, and then you have the distractions, and then you're also wearing clothes that, kind of are not conducive to you to be, feeling your best, then at the end of the day, you're kind of like, all right, I feel super tired. I'm not energized. I have no energy. And then I have to go to bed and then I have to do it all over again. Something I've been doing, which I don't know why it helps me so much, but I've been wearing like shorts, like nice pair of shorts, not like jeans. So I haven't been wearing pants. I've been wearing pants, but not like work pants. But I have been wearing shoes, and I've been wearing like button-up tops and like at least something that I would wear normally, other than the pants part. I'm like, we're about to go into Texas, and if I'm working from home, I'll wear nice khakis. So they're at least that where I could be presentable, and I could go, I would say, client ready is how I'd look at it. Like if I'm at least client ready, then I feel better. But putting on shoes makes a world of difference. Cause I'm like, if you wear socks and walk around your house, you just feel like I'm at home. I can relax. I can do whatever. But if I put on shoes, I feel like, all right, I'm at my desk. I got my Brain FM in. I'm focused. Like that just helps me so much versus taking the shoes off. And I'm like, socks off just feels more casual, I guess.
Yeah. And the other thing with just having shoes, it just makes it so much easier to go on your breaks.
Yes.
Right? And you don't have to think twice about like, all right, I'm gonna put this down, literally walk out the door and then come. Like, it just makes it so much easier. You don't have to like, okay, now I have to go look for shoes and put them on. And,
right.
It's just an extra step, right?
It seems so small, but I think it's the same thing like Ramit Sethi talks about. Like, you can increase your workout schedule by 40% by laying out your workout clothes the night before right outside of your bed. It's like, it's so simple. Yep. But looking for your clothes in the dark room while you're already kind of tired, it's like that's just one more thing to get in your way of not going to work out.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, goodness. All right. So number 5 here, build transitions into work and out of work, like set actual work hours, which I think we do a good job of. Like, hey, these are our work hours. You may show up. I always look at it now as like I may do a little bit more work in the morning, but like in the evening, I can't anyway. But like in the morning, I can do a little bit more work. So I set my hours from like, okay, 8:15, or sometimes if I have a meeting, 7:30 to like 6:10 max. And then after that, I can't do anything else. And then so the transition becomes like for us, it's like, okay, we're going to start the day by having our meeting. So I always have a meeting, whether it's through networking or with you guys, like for the team meeting, that starts the transition of the day. And then for us, we always have a meeting at the end of the day. So it starts a transition of like, okay, great, I'm off work. So we've already kind of incorporated that, which was super nice. But there should be a transition in your day to kind of like let you know, like, all right, time to switch into other mode, whatever that is.
Yeah. I mean, I think we had that problem when we didn't have an office and we were working from an apartment where, the end of day was just kind of a blur. Like you didn't know where your work day actually ended.
Mm-hmm.
I think to some extent it was maybe dinner, right?
Yeah, I know. And sometimes dinner would be like 7:00. Sometimes that was 7:30. Like
there was no predefined time. So now with the way that we're doing things, working from home, we've set up those 2 meetings in the morning and the evening, just kind of in the morning to present, what you're doing throughout the day. And then in the evening, just kind of present your wins, what you got accomplished. And that just, like you said, kind of sets this is where we start and this is where we end.
Right. And I think that yours doesn't have to be meetings. For those who are listening, you're like, oh, I don't have anybody to meet with, but maybe it's like you're telling your wife or your significant other, like, okay, bye. Like, I'm going to, it sounds weird, but like, hey, I'm going into this office. If you have a room that's an office, or I'm going to like the kitchen table, or I'm going somewhere else, like just take yourself out of the element and say like, bye.
Yeah. Or just journaling. And
good.
I think everyone should be doing that at the end of the day. Just kind of write down what are the things that you got done. And then at that same point, you can actually determine what are the top 3 tasks that you need to do, for the next day.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's a very good one. That's a 5-minute journal. You should check out that too. It's a very good journal, people. You can just Google it. All right. Our last one we have here on tips to work from home more efficiently is communicate with your employees, coworkers, colleagues. Communicate with the people you would normally talk to if you were going into work, whether that's through text message, whether it's through Slack, whether it's through email, preferably over something like Zoom if you can, but talk to people like you normally would, because communication is key. Like if they say the perfect storm of things, if you reversed everything we talked about, let's say Christian stayed in his house, he didn't get any, outside vitamin D. He had a dog that was distracting him. He was wearing like clothes that were not conducive to like work environment, wearing like socks and, just a regular t-shirt, not something he would wear out. And then the fact that he doesn't talk to anybody else, like that starts to, I think, spiral you out of motivation. You start to question a lot of things that you could get done. And one day is probably not bad, but just letting that go on for, we're on day 21 or 22 or something like that of quarantine. Like that going on for 3 weeks is crazy to think about how much that could affect you mentally and physically and just really put you out of control. So talk to people outside of just, or talk to people that you would normally talk to and, have those conversations, have that communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think this is something that we need to get better as well. It's like, we do communicate as a team, through Slack, through our video meetings, email, etc. But just doing that sort of extracurricular water cooler, type talking that just kind of also puts you at ease, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just all like work. And that's something that we're planning on incorporating is just maybe a few phone calls throughout the week just to kind of catch up with our team individually. It's not a group conversation or anything like that. Just kind of seeing how they're doing, how their families are doing, different things like that. Just 5-10 minutes of just talking to your employees, coworkers, colleagues, etc.
Right, and I think just it doesn't have to be a checking. I mean, it could be checking in on how they're doing, sure, but it also could be like, hey, did you see this new video game they launched? Or hey, did you watch this? Or whatever, just real conversation that you would have anyway. I think sometimes we overcomplicate it, and it's hard because I think that we kind of fall in the same boat too. Is like sometimes we just overcomplicate the conversation when it just should be like, hey, you ran into somebody and you're like, hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Like, how's your family? How's have you checked out this? We were friends before this and you used to play this video game. Like, have you played that in a while? I haven't seen you online. It doesn't matter. But the point is to just have the conversations.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So 6 of these.
Yeah, that was a freebie in there. I think I introduced it as 5 tips and we got 6 in there. So.
Yeah, we did. That's completely fine. We got a bonus in there. We know you guys need that communication one. So it was even better. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Marketing Natives. Especially at a time like this, it's more important to go out there and find things that are going to help you be more productive or have a better light or better mindset on things. We hope this helped you with your working from home situation, helped you figure out a way to not only be more efficient, but also help with that physical mindset and that mental mindset. And hopefully you can share this with your friends. If this is your first time listening, make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our podcasts that come out every single Monday. And if you've been listening for a while and you were like, wow, this was definitely the best episode you guys have done. This is going to help me. And I just really appreciate it. And thank you for, taking the 20 minutes. We appreciate you listening. Please go over to Apple Podcasts and leave us an honest rating review and just let us know that, hey, I listened to that podcast. It was great. This is what helps us figure out what kind of content to produce for you and continue to make the podcast better. So stay safe out there. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
See ya.
The Marketing Natives podcast is a production of Bit Branding.